One thing that's great about working in Japan is transportation to your job is paid by your company. This is all over Japan. Most contracts do this. The maximum amount that you're reimbursed every month, free travel, is sanman, or 30,000 yen per month. And that works out to about 45 kilometers one way each working day. That's a total of 90 kilometers round trip is paid for. So if you think of it like, a radius, like a circle, going away from your house to your job, you could travel any direction up to 45 kilometers every day, and that's going to be free. So that's pretty amazing. So it frees up people in Japan to live wherever they want, almost wherever they want, because they can live pretty far from their work because they don't have to worry about paying for transportation costs. So the benefits of that are pretty big, right? You have freedom to live where you want, so you could live in a place that's more desirable. And you have more living options, right? So if you worked at Shinjuku or, the center of Osaka, housing is going to be a lot more expensive. If you could live 45 kilometers away, say for Osaka, you could live somewhere in a suburb of Kyoto and commute every day into Osaka, and you're going to save a ton of money because your housing cost is very cheap. So this is a huge benefit of living and working in Japan. Essentially, it makes your housing more affordable because you don't have to worry about living by your workplace. You can choose a cheap housing option much further away from your work. So the drawback of this is, of course, commuting time. So obviously time is money. So if you're traveling a long distance, if you're using up that basically 45 kilometers one way or 90 kilometers each day, you're going to be spending a lot of time on trains, especially if you're in cities and they're really crowded. And then there's the issue of, do I get a seat? It's the seat battle. Every station is a seat battle. People pretend to be very polite, but they're darting in. They're trying to get in line first. They're trying to dart to a seat because if you're going 45 kilometers or 30 kilometers, you're going to be standing and you're going to get crushed and it's going to be very uncomfortable. So that's the issue about living further away from your work. But in general, I don't know many countries that pay for transportation. My country certainly doesn't. And that's a problem for people, is commuting and paying for transportation to work. So you can look forward to enjoying free transportation if you live and work in Japan.